Hey y'all, how y'all doing? It's Saturday. What is going on? So we're gonna talk about this article that I saw. I've been seeing a lot of articles, especially Friday. I was just seeing a lot of stuff trending, and there were some articles that were talking about the Latino employees that were expressing their feelings of colorism, but it was specific to pay disparities. So they were not being paid as much as others. So, I mean, the Hispanic community, obviously, you have your white Hispanic, you have your Afro Hispanic communities. So, there is definitely, when you look across the population, there are folks with a lighter skin complexion, there are folks with a darker skin complexion, very similar to, places like India, the entire continent of Africa, because even sub-Saharan Africa, well, either way you look at it, you see people of different skin tones there as well, and even Asian communities outside of India. So there's India, China, Singapore. I mean, all these different areas where there's a lot of skin bleaching, and we've seen multiple advertisements that even show heavily in India, where you see someone do a skin bleaching process and all of a sudden, right, they have a new job or they're on television now. And it is, it definitely affects different communities. And I did a video a little while ago because I saw a lot of people talking about black men and colorism and they're colorist. And I agree with that. But I think everyone is colorist. I think all of us, like, it's ingrained in us at this point to see people with European features, including pale complexion, right, to be quote unquote better and something to look forward to. So let me pull up the article here. If I can find it, I did have it. You guys know I always have so many articles, so many articles up at a time. So let me see if I can grab it. I'm surprised I didn't put it into the video section. Let's see. And sorry guys, I'm a little casual today because I was doing yoga. I was getting my little breakfast for the morning. Doing my little laundry, doing all this stuff. So just like I pushed the video back a little bit just because I was like, I want to get some breakfast. So that's what that was about. How am I not finding this? Okay, let me do a search. Because now I'm annoyed. I'm like, where is this article? Normally, I will actually provide it. So let me see. I did not put it in the thing. Okay. And I'm gonna look to see. I see 3 people are in here. I saw 4 or 5 people a second ago. So I don't know how many people are in here right now, but we will talk about it. And hopefully you guys are having a good Saturday. It's like really nice weather here today in Texas. There's a lot going on in Texas right now. Of course now I can't find it with all of my different tabs. We're gonna see if I have it open somewhere. It will help if I open this on my computer too. Let me see who's in here. Oh, that's so weird. I don't see anything in here. Let me test this out. Because you guys know I'm using Restream. I can't see any comments. So if you're commenting, I can't see anything for whatever the reason. So if you're in here, write something just so I can see if the chat is working. I don't know. Let me see if I can find this article though. I'm so annoyed at myself because I lost it. I think I lost the article, guys. I have everything else up but what I'm actually looking for. Do you ever have that issue? Like everything but what I'm actually looking for, I can see. Oh, here we go. Okay, here it is. Um, Let me make sure this is the right thing. Or I thought that was it. Maybe not. Okay, anyway, I can't find the exact one that I was looking at. It was on LinkedIn. And so what was trending was that a lot of Hispanic people were saying that they are experiencing a pay difference, and they think it's solely tied to the fact that they are darker skinned Hispanics. So I wanted to open it up to just talk about it and see, like, have you experienced this? Is it something that you think is real? Because I mean, we definitely see what happens with pay disparities for gender, for race, of course, but then now we also have to deal with how, like, colorism, how dark you are, how light you are, and that's affecting. I did talk about that slightly in the Black community. I made a video about it. So it is true for the Black community. So why wouldn't it be true for the Hispanic community? Let me go back into Restream. Oh, okay, now I see comments. Oh my gosh. Why is it that I didn't see the comments before? That is so weird. Hi, Fighter. Wow. Okay. So that comment has me laughing. Thanks. I guess I'm like, thanks. Hey, Natural Al, how are you? You guys saw me as I'm like trying to find what in the world I was looking for. So the bad thing about LinkedIn, they will have all these different articles on their home page, and so they'll show what's trending. But then once it's gone and not trending anymore, it's just gone. And I don't like the searchability with LinkedIn. It's like if you didn't look at it and save the links, it's gone. So I think the conversation was just coming up because it is Hispanic Heritage Month, I believe. So of course it's in the, it's going to be in the news. People are trying to make some different stories, paint different pictures. But I just thought it was interesting because I'm a Black woman, so I don't really think about any other community as much. Like I don't think about how it affects the Asian communities, the Hispanic communities, all that. So but yeah, they're even getting pay disparities. But here's the thing. Here's my thing with the Hispanic community, and I experienced this when I was in Spain. Because there's, white or Black or Afro Hispanic. However, they don't see that. When I was in Spain, it was very much from some, not all, but there were certain people from the Dominican, and they did not see themselves as Black at all. They definitely related more to the Spaniards. And it's like, you don't even look like if I'm standing here and they're standing there and you're in the middle, who do you even look closer to? Just looking at face value. And then whose culture do you, relate to? Maybe more of the Spaniard, but you're not even from Spain. You're from the Dominican. Like, it's like, what? So I don't know. I definitely could see it might even be tougher in the Hispanic community because a lot of the folks don't see themselves as Black. And I think it's interesting too, looking at the African communities compared to the Black American communities, because we did experience different things. Hey DOD, what's up? See, I didn't see you in here either. What is up with that? Prince Daniel, have I seen you here before? I don't know why. Your name is familiar. I might have seen you in someone else's stream. DOD is saying, look, colorism exists. We all know the lighter you are, the easier in America it is for you. But you know what? I think it is anywhere. It's not even just America at this point, like everywhere, because in every society there's bleaching, whether you're in the United States, England, China, India, Nigeria, there's bleaching for the effect. It's not just because people like bleach, it's because people want to gain certain things. They feel like they can only do so if they look a certain way, for sure. So I can't even find this article. I'm so annoyed. I'm going to try one more time before I get off of here, because I wanted to see what the actual pay disparity was. Like, was it a huge difference or was it slight differences? Because that's what really matters. I mean, at the end of the day, yes, people are going to get treated differently, but you need to pay me my money no matter what. Pay me the same amount or more. Pay me based on my value versus my complexion or what I look like. And we do know that beautiful people are paid more as well. So that's interesting too. I think I've covered this one before. Okay, so I'm not finding it. It's so annoying. Oh, maybe if I do this. Okay, this might be it. Okay, this is it. This is it. I finally found it. Only took me a little while. It took me a little bit though. All right, let me see if I can share. And now my computer's frozen. Like, what is the deal today? I think the universe is telling me I need to go sit down and relax. Okay. I'm gonna share this one first and then go from there. Wait, this is the one. Hold on. You guys are bearing with me too. I appreciate you. That's not what I want to share. It's this one. Okay, I don't know if you can see my screen. Let me know. I don't like that. I'll do this one. Okay, so it says undiscussed discrimination at work. So this is an editor at LinkedIn News, Carolyn Fairchild. So it doesn't appear that she's Hispanic, but she's saying, despite a heightened dialogue about the importance of inclusion at work, most Latino professionals say they feel unsupported, according to a new survey done by LinkedIn. So, of Latino professionals between the ages of 18 and 34, 60% say that's a big age range actually. Because 18, that means like, you're just out of high school, maybe you're in college, but you don't have a lot of experience. Okay, so 60% say they have been overlooked or intentionally passed over for career advancement opportunities because of their race. Many Latinos say a lot of this discrimination is due to colorism, the system of inequality that is based on the lightness or darkness of someone's skin. Amara La Negra, she is I think she's one of the first Hispanics to actually talk about colorism and discrimination. You don't really hear much about Amara La Negra, but I think she's very beautiful, curvaceous. She's kind of got all the things: the hair, the face, the body, the voice, everything. But she talked about her discrimination that she had because she didn't have a certain complexion. She didn't look like a Beyonce type. And so it's really interesting. And then you have a lot of folks that are the Hispanic community agreeing with it. And one guy pointed out, he said, "I couldn't agree more, Alex. I'd like to add another factor working against the Latinx community, nameism." We got so many isms at this point. So he's saying nameism. "I've been passed up many times in my career as Jorge Bustamante, but experienced success as the much friendlier sounding J. Busta." Interesting. That may just be because it's shorter, though. There have been studies that say the shorter your name is, the easier people can pronounce your name, the more progression that you have. I have seen studies like that, so that's interesting. And then they say oftentimes by the same employers that rejected Jorge. And we know that happens in the Black community even more. If I were, so my mom gave me the name Jessica because my grandfather passed away a few days before I was born. And so I got the name Jessica. And thus I have two middle names. So she didn't take away that name. She just pushed it back. All right. We're just gonna, add this name in there. So my name's Jessica. But what if my name was Jaricia? I don't know. Or Jaquita. How would my, progression have been, or would I have an easy way to get jobs? Because on my resume, I don't put my picture on my resume, so you don't know. Jessica Hicks is a very American white sounding name, because in the 90s, it was all Jessica Simpson, right? Jessica, whoever. But yeah, Jessica, Ashley, these were some of the popular names. So that's interesting. I haven't seen nameism before, but definitely. So he's saying he had relatives who've changed their names from Luis to Lou, Jose to Joe, Enrique to Rick, etc., to get jobs after long periods of employment. Sadly, it usually works. So you know what is interesting? I've always thought about that for Black Americans, but I haven't thought so much about that for the Hispanic community. But yeah, it is true. Nameism definitely happens. But once you've hired someone, you already know their name. You know their, you kind of know their race unless they're ambiguous. So, they should be getting progressed just as much as everyone else. This person's saying, and they look to be maybe Indian, I'm guessing, or something of that, arena. So Arcana is saying, "I have faced it myself during my professional work. The worst part is you don't know until you spend a couple of years with them. There was that point in time I felt choked and saturated." So they couldn't get past a certain point. Interesting. And they're in the GIS field. So I know they have a higher education as well. So it's interesting. I'm going to go back to the comments though. Let me see what folks are saying. Oh, hey. DOD said, "Go to my hit." Oh, DOD. Why couldn't I see that comment earlier? I didn't see that comment earlier. Tisk. That's super helpful. Thank you. Hey, Edward, you just woke up. What? You just woke up? What's going on? How is Hawaii? Is Hawaii beautiful today? pretend that I'm in Hawaii today. Hey, Victoriously Shay, how are you? What's going on? I'm just catching up with folks that joined. How are you guys? But yeah, I didn't even think about Nameism. This is why I tell folks, though, I will tell you, do not put your picture on your resume. I don't care how cute it might look, how nice it might seem. I don't care. On your resume, especially, if you're actively looking for a job, and it's not in maybe TV, film, modeling, obviously things that you do have to, show your look for. Don't put your picture there just because you don't know who exactly is looking at your photo. The company could be talking, yada, yada, diversity, we need, this and that in a job, which may be true. That could be totally true. However, there's a lot of isms that you have to look out for. So what if it is someone, maybe it's someone of your community and your ethnicity, but what if they have a bias against older people and you happen to be over 50? Or what if they have a bias against younger people and you're like just starting out in school, or you're like 23 or whatever? Or what if they have a bias just about your look, So just, I would say with that point, I just don't like to see people's pictures, because I don't like it as a recruiter. I don't like to see people's pictures because LinkedIn is a different story. Like, it's networking. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. But when you're reviewing resumes, I just don't like to have any bias, because I know it happens naturally. We all are affected by all these isms. And so I don't want to even have the option or the idea that I may have looked over someone because of something like that. Anyway, hopefully you get what I'm saying, because we all have to check. We have to check ourselves. Hi, Mike. How are you? Hey. Welcome back. I missed you. Oh, you missed me? Oh, thanks. I was just gone for like a week, but thank you. I missed you guys too. I missed everyone. I love chatting with folks, and it's weird because we've never met. I've never met any of you in person, but I do feel connected to everyone, that regularly comes into the chat, and we talk, and we talk about some deep stuff sometimes. So yeah. King of Kill said, mine is Theodore. I am third generation Ted, but I plan to legally change my name to Akil. What's interesting? Akil. I would probably, if I were to guess the name Akil, I would think it's maybe either Middle Eastern or at least a Muslim name. That's what I would assume about that. But wow, I didn't know your name was Theodore. I don't know why, but the name Theodore reminds me of a teddy bear. Maybe because it's Ted, and so teddy bear. I don't know. Side note. Kill's like a cuddly teddy bear. That's all I'm gonna think now. King of Kill. I'm just gonna think you're a teddy bear. Yes, please hit the like button, guys. I know people will forget to hit the like button. Being a content creator, like when I go to people's videos, I just automatically hit the like button. I haven't even watched anything. I just like, because I know how the algorithm works. Jessica, you look healthy and firm. What? Okay, I guess that's a good thing. Thank you. I love looking healthy. I don't know about that fertility part, but thank you. That might have to be the comment of the day. Like, that's the comment of the day. That you have won the comment. You've won the comment section. Hi, Partly Cloudy. What's up? I haven't seen you in a while. What's going on? How are you? I put out a live, like a poll just to see how people were doing. And I know some of us have been having it. It's been a week. So hopefully you guys get to spend some time and relax. Your last name sounds very Hispanic. Oh, so have you felt like you've been affected in any way because of that? I'm interested to know, Fighter. Because again, I don't really have to think about it, because Jessica Hicks, like that, if that's not a white girl sounding name, no offense to white girls or anything, but there's no spice in that name. It's very American. It's just like, not to say America is boring, but I mean, come on. European, like, just look at the music, the art, look at just a lot of things. European versus everything else, everywhere else in the world. You get to see a little spice. The food, come on. So yeah, the Jessica Hicks is just, yeah, a little boring, pretty standard. What is your favorite Jessica-ism? Oh my goodness. Do I have Jessica-isms? I don't know. You're right, Jessica. It's not the great idea having picture on resume, also having date of birth. Oh my God, I see it all. I see it all. People put their date of birth, people put their marital status, people put their food interest, what they're into, just random stuff on the and I'm just like, we look. It's just like, look, yes, this is to get to know you, but this is to sell something. It's not like in an advertisement, you got what, 60 seconds to get someone's attention. You being married, I don't care about that. Or you being single, people will put single on their thing. I'm like, I don't care. Or their age, their actual age or their birthday. And it's like, just why? I had a lady, I used to work with the Urban League in my hometown. And I don't know whose idea this was, but someone thought it was a good idea to have the folks that are looking for jobs present themselves in front of a panel of folks. So it's all I would say a mix of black, white. I don't know if we had Hispanics in the group, but just a mixture of folks that were in HR or hiring. Maybe some were managers, some were recruiters, and they would get in front of us and they would just they would just say, they would give their spiel, their elevator pitch. And I just remember one lady, it was a Black woman, Black American woman, and she started off saying, I'm 42 years old and this and that. I don't remember anything else she said. All I remember is that she started off saying, I am 42 years old. I did have to tell her, like, hey, you don't have to say your age. Like, it's irrelevant. It's not something you need to do. And she was appreciative of that, but it's just like, no one tells folks this. A lot of people will listen to you in an interview and they're not going to tell you anything. Now, those are some of the things I will say. I have to be careful sometimes, but I can say certain things and I will give you some feedback on the phone. Like, look, you don't have to say this next time, or next time I would just do this, but you have to be careful. I am well. Thank you for asking. Good. I'm glad. I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, the ladies. It started off kind of, hiccupy, and we're gonna end with Teddy. The ladies love to call me Teddy. It's a perk. I can't with these comments. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna remember that, King of Kill. So you're in the comments, I'll be like, hey Teddy. Oh my goodness. It is cute. It's really cute. I'm a Black Hispanic, but I'm more affected because of my criminal work. Oh my gosh. Whew, that's a whole nother topic. Fighter, that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, Black Hispanic. So it's interesting though, because I think Black Hispanic would be more appreciated in the Black community because of colorism is the crazy part. It's like, okay, in your own community, if you're of a darker complexion, to that standard, because dark complexions, it's kind of dependent on what you think is dark. There are, oh my gosh, I've had people even tell me that I'm not dark enough, and I'm very dark. But on a spectrum of, if you're looking at someone that's this complexion, they have a very deep, rich skin tone, then yeah, I would be on the lighter spectrum compared to that. But in the general speak, I'm a dark skinned woman. But when you look at the Hispanic community and you bring someone over to the Black community, now they're getting some privileges because of colorism. So it's just it's interesting. So like in the white space, of course, in the Hispanic space, they're treated a certain way, but then they come into the Black space and there's a whole nother scenario. I do think it's a difference between men and women though. I think it's a difference. Just as name Robert Joseph is American. It's like what is it, John Smith? For a long time people would be like John Smith. Yeah, it's very American. Robert Joseph is very American. How am I liking the car? I like the car. You know what? There's a few things I don't like about it. Maybe I'll do a video about it, but I like how it drives. I like the comfort. I like my seating and everything. And it's decent on gas. Part of me kind of thinks I should have gone with Toyota. I know it's kind of boring, standard Toyota Camry, but Camrys are just so good on gas, y'all. It's like you can just be driving, you be like, oh, I still don't need any gas. Oh, okay, this is nice. I like this. And I drove a Toyota Camry for a while. And so I was like, I was used to it, but then I was kind of like, it is a little boring. I would like to have something a little different. So I love the styling of the Mazda. It's cool. It's a decent price car. Like I don't feel angry looking at the car. I know some people that have BMWs and they're like, they're halfway upset that they got a BMW only because of the maintenance cost. It's like, well, you did get a BMW. You should be able to manage the cost of it. You'll be okay. Um, all right, this video is going left. It's going left fast. Just give you more. Oh, that's so cute. Thank you. That's very sweet. There are some very beautiful women in America, though. But thank you. Should have gone with an Infinity. Oh, see, partly cloudy. I heard. See, Infinity reminds me a little bit too much of a Nissan. I had a Nissan for a while and it was fine, but it just seems cheaper than a Mazda. It just feels cheap. You know, I hate to say it, but it just feels cheap. It does. It does. Anyway, getting back on topic. Get back on topic. So I'm just kind of strolling. I'm looking through to see what folks are saying in here. So I'm gonna make myself a little smaller now and then round it out because I do want to know what the community is saying. So Bethsaida is saying this is an important conversation that needs to happen at work. In my experience, this has to be a conversation in all caps to impact real change because those who have experienced colorism already know. Here's the thing. I feel like, okay, there's so many conversations going on. I'm going to continue reading what she's saying, but there's so many conversations going on. If you don't know about colorism at this point, you just don't want to know, or you don't want to acknowledge it. There, like everywhere you look, there's conversations on colorism, YouTube, news articles, right? LinkedIn is now talking about it. And they highlight very specific things. Like, come on, it needs to. And you guys know me. I'm very much about what is the solution to this, and I think the solution, well, one of the solutions would be some type of reverse programming because we've all been conditioned. It would have to be a programming to show, or even the playing field, right? It's not about. I'm gonna do another video to talk about this, but everyone's talking about the whole equality thing. No, you just need to be the best. You need to be the best. It's not about blacks being equal to whites being equal to blacks. Like in America is about competition and who is the best. Always striving to be your best. And I think that's what it's about too. Versus, oh, we need to strive to be American or we need to strive to be like white people. No, we just need to strive to be the best, whatever that means. We need to strive to be better and better and better every single time. Anyway, so I feel like conversations are happening, but let's go on. One of the problems is that the real and authentic conversations only happen when trust has already been built into the foundation of the group. Too many want to have these difficult conversations without building any real trust first. It doesn't work. That's true. As an Afro-Latina, my identity has been questioned many times and I've been discriminated against at work, but I only remember one time when there was a trust and I felt safe to bring my concerns forward to my manager. Interesting. I don't know. I mean, I get that. As an Afro-Latino, my identity has been questioned many times, and I've been discriminated against at work. But I only remember one time when there was trust, and I felt safe to bring my concerns forward. Only one time? That's crazy. Because there was trust there, I was able to give my manager the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, I mean, it takes a long time to even trust your people at work, manager, coworkers, and then even then, you fully don't trust anyone because of some of the environments in the workplace. Again, because of the competitive nature. Yeah, it seems like most people are agreeing with it. We're going to have a conversation soon about Nameism, though. Nikki Pounds, I don't know what she is. Let me see. She's an HR consultant. Colorism exists within societies based on narratives that are created by marketing and the media. When you consider models for any ethnic background, you're more likely to see a lighter skin person. Thank you. This is why representation matters. And people say it doesn't matter. Representation matters because even in the Black community, even with Black-owned media, you still see the same thing. You don't see a ton of non-ambiguous, lighter-skinned people, even in our community. So I can imagine the Hispanic community as well. So yeah, in the media, like you don't see Afro-Latinas. Only one I can think of is Amara La Negra. That's the only one. That's the only one I can think of at this point. That is like not kind of the standard image that you would see of a Latina. I'm specifically talking about women. So I was told once that because my skin was not as dark as a peer, I was less threatening to the department, which was one of the reasons I was hired instead of her. Whew. I believe it. In the moment, I was devastated, but then decided to embark on diversity and inclusion work 17 years ago. We have to change the narrative by talking about these issues more and helping others understand that colorism is a bias and we can manage it, but we must first recognize that it exists. Right, and that's the problem. Like a lot of people, like I was saying earlier, the conversations are happening. If you don't believe colorism exists, you're just like in the camp with the people that don't believe racism exists or sexism exists, right? It exists. You just want to be oblivious. You just don't want to acknowledge it because maybe you're benefiting from it and you don't want to acknowledge it. You want to think that you're getting everything 100% because of your own merit. But I don't think things work like that. I mean, look, I think if I looked a certain way, things change. Let's say if I don't know, if I didn't, I feel like I'm attractive. Now, I don't say that I'm the most beautiful woman in the world, which Mike, that's very kind of you to know in the comments. But I think I'm fairly attractive, right? So I do know that if you're not as attractive or you're not deemed attractive, because I think everyone has a form of attractive in their own way and they're attractive to someone. Yeah, I think things would have been more difficult for me. Just putting that out there. So what she's saying about she was told that because her skin was not as dark as a peer, she was less threatening to the department, which was one of the reasons I was hired instead of her. I think that's really interesting. And she's a woman, so I do wonder if that affects men as well. And that's when we get into the conversation about hairstyles and all of that stuff too. It's like so many things. So many things. Let me see. I'm gonna keep scrolling here. Oh, hey, Miss Full Roller. Okay, I'm doing a bad job in toggling. I'm not toggling too well today. Harley Cloudy's laughing at me because of the car. Barry. Hey, Barry. And shout out to my members in the chat. I think Mike, you're a member now. Barry is a member, and King of Kill is a member. So shout out to you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a member. And let's see. And Barry, Miss Full Roller, you guys have channels, so please do scoop some folks up. Edward is a member and my moderator a lot of times, almost all the time. He is the one always reminding you guys to hit that like button. So I appreciate Edward so much. Let's see. Miss Full Roller says, oh, to my earlier comment, the best is still subjective. Who determines what is best? That's true, but I think people need to strive to be their own best self. So if your best, like, it all depends on your goals, right? So if my goal is strictly financial, right? Well, then the best for me is probably going to be tied to financials, business ownership. How much can I earn in a year? How much can I earn this month? Sales, all of that, right? If my best is more health conscious, then my best self is going to be my most fit me. I'm going to do yoga every day, cardio every day, gym every, like, all, not every day, but you know what I mean. So it depends. I think that we as a people determine that personally, but then of course there's certain things that society expect as well. So it depends. I do think it should be more individual though. I think, success looks different for other people. Everyone isn't focused on money. Some people are just focused on having a more balanced life. Other people are very health conscious. Other people are more focused on what they can do for society. How many people can they help? Volunteering, that sort of thing. And so, yeah, it depends. That's a really great question, Ms. Roller. It's like a philosophical type of question. I love that. Hannah Kill says, so should there be programs like affirmative action to ensure diversity in the workplace? Ooh, that's tough. Ooh, you're getting deep on me, Teddy. Um, I think for right now, because companies are not all naturally doing it, I think certain industries maybe they should, like, for example, the media. I think media companies should have very diverse people, because what are they doing at the media? The media is probably it's just so powerful, which is why we're at where we are right now. So I think yes, but at the same time I struggle with that. I don't know if it's exactly that, but I struggle with that a little bit, because I think when you force telling places that they have to hire so many people of this background, you have to hire so many Asians, you have to hire so many women, I think you see the benefits of that long term, very, very, very long term. Like, look at women. Women are still striving to get into leadership positions. Women have been, the biggest gainers of affirmative action. White women have. And so, where does that leave other groups? But the other aspect of that is inclusion. So if people aren't included, if the company doesn't want you there, how are you going to get promoted? How are you going to do better? How are you going to help the company even reach their goals if they don't really want you there? If it's more of a tokenism. Hey, we just hired you because we needed to hire 10 Black people. Oh, we just hired you because we needed to hire 10 Hispanic people. Like, don't talk. We don't want to change anything. We don't want your ideas. Just sit there and, I think it should be more about needing to get people of different diverse backgrounds into your company because of the benefits. I think it's more about the benefits of having diverse people in your company, because everyone's the same. How are you going to be innovative? How are you going to know what people are talking about? How are you going to know what people are actually wanting? And so companies really benefit from having people of diverse background. They get so many creative ideas and innovative things because of the people that are working there. And they get to catch themselves a lot of the time from making stupid mistakes that will not actually reach people, the everyday people. Because look at leadership teams. A lot of leadership teams are rich white men, white American, white European men. Do they know what the average woman is buying? Do they know what the Black community wants? Do they know what the Hispanic community wants? Do they know what the Asian community wants? Do they know what Asian women want? No, they don't know anything about that. They know their background and their area and their neighborhood, unless they're going outside to actually be around people. But we know generally people are not doing that. They're not. Otherwise, we would see societies changing. If most people did that, no, they're not doing it. So anyway, that's a very long-winded answer to that question. I'm very torn because I do see benefits. However, I see the negative as well. Negative being, are people going to actually be included and are they actually going to be wanted? Because if I'm not needed here and you're not embracing me, then I can go somewhere else. Is how I feel. That's like in day-to-day conversation. Anyway, going along on there. Okay, Afro-Latina, such as Julissa Bermudez. I have no idea who that is. But okay. Thank you, Mike. Does anyone know who Julissa Bermudez is? See, I've never heard of her, but Mike has heard about another Afro-Latina. It is a bit hopeful that the younger generations are more intuitively aware, more willing to call it out, and most importantly, are willing to get rid of scourge of all these isms. I was like, what are you saying? Sorry, guys. I'm like trying to move this thing around because it's like, okay, maybe I'll do that. See, this is how my Saturday is going. Like, what is this? What's going on? Okay. Y'all can see me? Y'all can hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. I'm like messing around with this mic, the phone, all of this stuff. Mike said, thank you. You're welcome if you were talking to me. Miss Foro said, yes, I agree that you should be your best, but unfortunately my best can be seen as not best or even threatening to or by others. Examples that you have given, prime examples of that. Yeah, to society. So that's the difference. Like, what's your best versus what society wants you to do. I feel like society just wants you to get a job, you know, make money, and retire when you're 80 or whenever you can. And spend all your money. Spend all your money and go into debt. That's kind of what at least American society seems to be about. Buy everything, work all your life, buy, get in debt, pay the banks. That's another video. That is for my Money Talk Monday conversations, for sure. Oh, have fun at the wedding. That sounds so fun. I love weddings. They're fun. Let's see. Mr. 100 Rounds came in here. Hey, what's up? How are you? It's been a minute. Well, I've seen you here and there. You've been popping up here and there. One Love Louisiana. You're in Louisiana, right? Guys, I forget. Where is everyone at? Like, I forget where everyone's at. I know DOD, if he's still in here. He's in Las Vegas. Edward is in Hawaii. I don't know where Miss Full Roller is at. I don't know where you are. Thank you, Miss Full Roller. Yes, please hit the like button. Julissa Bermudez. Oh, host of Julissa Bermudez. All I remember is that girl Roxy. I remember 106 in Park. Like, I don't watch 106 in Park. I don't know if it still exists, but yeah, I don't watch. I watched when Roxy was on there. So yeah, just for my knowledge, I appreciate that. Okay, I'm gonna close this out. How long have I been on here? Oh yeah, I've been on here for a minute, guys. This is probably even my longest live in a little bit. I haven't been doing really long lives. At least I've been trying not to. Yeah, that's interesting. Tiana Laughlin says, I think it has to do with subconscious messages people get from entertainment and other people on what a professional looks like. Yes. Real story. Okay. Random, but I was taking a dance class a couple of weeks ago and I met this lady, cute lady. She was a little shorter than me. It was a white woman and she was super nice, very friendly lady. And she introduced herself. And for some reason we got on the topic of like why we were both in Dallas and she had moved for work. And she was like, she was in the medical field. And I was like, oh, are you a nurse? And she says, I'm a doctor. I was like, oh, and I actually apologized for automatically assuming she was a nurse. But it's that stereotype, it's that mental thing. That's what everything is about, this mental game, guys. So it's that subconscious, you automatically, I am not thinking, I'm not purposely thinking that I want to say that she's a nurse just because of what she looks like. That's not something I'm actively doing. But subconsciously, I think that nurses are women and doctors are men. So it came out that way. So it's very interesting. I also don't think this is something that can be fixed by a law, is what she's saying. This is something that can only be changed on a community level or individual basis. Yeah, and again, media, what do we see? What do we see? I don't think you guys can see this though. Can you? No, you cannot. I don't know if I can rearrange this or something. Let me see here. Let's do this. Maybe? No, that didn't. That made it worse. I just made it worse, guys. What? Okay. I don't know. I don't know. Just read it. Because I can't like change it. I'm trying to, but I can't change it. Like this just needs to move over like slightly is what needs to happen, but I can't do that. Oh wait, maybe I can do this? Nope. Okay, whatever. So what? That like got me completely off track. So Milia Herrera says it's also because we have few Hispanic mentors, Latinos who are in decision-making positions of power that can show us the way and take us under their wing. We have the same thing in the Black community. It's like we have the same problems. I worked in places in the past where coworkers said things like, well, we have additional, right, because of slavery, if you're American-born Black. I worked in places in the past where coworkers said things like, you don't look Latina. If you're Mexican, then why don't you speak Spanish? As if that's a flaw or weakness. I'm sure that's true. I just don't know. I don't know how it speaks to the colorism conversation, but okay. I could see that happening. Yeah, the expectation is if you're Hispanic that you speak Spanish. And then you don't look Latina. She looks in her picture, I wish you guys can see it. I won't show her name, but she looks white, Latina. I don't know, or white. I mean, it's Mariam Abdallah saying colorism is another form of discrimination. It's real. We all need to ask ourselves if we're playing a part in contributing to it. Definitely in the professional arena, but also has individuals in our personal life. Then we have an Asian, finally. Anna Lisa Liff, or at least she looks Asian. Or, yeah. Colorism exists amongst Asian. Yeah, she is Asian. Colorism exists amongst Asians as well, being slightly olive complected, having perfect accentless English. Wait. Being slightly olive complected equals -10. What? She said, okay, so colorism exists amongst Asians as well. Being slightly olive complected. So it means you have a slightly, you're not just white, you're not just pale. You got a little color to you. -10 points. Having perfect accentless English equals +20 points. And that's true. It's interesting that the dynamic within Asians, you expect them to have an accent or something, right? Or it's like, oh, you speak English. They could be born here. Like, in America, it's interesting. It's funny. Hence, I prefer to create written content and shy away from video content. Wow. Until underrepresented individuals see themselves in the full spectrum of leadership roles, the struggle will continue. Appreciate you creating a space for honest. Okay, interesting. Okay, -10 points if you're Asian and you're olive complected. You got a little tint too. You're not bleaching or anything. Look, in the Asian community there is bleaching, and I see why. If you get -10 points, I guess people would start bleaching and having umbrellas to protect themselves from the sun so they don't get darker and all that. Part of it could be skincare too, but we know. Often it is hard for our immigrant Latinx community to speak up. We were raised that as immigrants we should keep our heads down and not to create a fuss in this country. Alex Melendez says. In the workplace, it's important that we speak up not just for us today, but for future generations. Oh, that is something, because I don't have the, immigrant experience as it relates to this. So taught that you should keep your heads down and not to create a fuss in this country. Well, I think everyone's taught that. I think everyone should look at what's happening right now with the whole Nicki Minaj situation. They're attacking her for just saying, I don't know, I need to do some research or whatever she said. Now she did point out some kind of weird story, which is a little suspicious, but I mean, yeah, in this country, I'm gonna talk about whether we're free or not. You know, we talked about we are all slaves. We talked about that one time, but I am gonna talk about soon. Are we really free in this country? I think that should be a good. I think that'll be a good live chat. Hey, hey. Teddy says, let me know if you don't want me to call you Teddy anymore. King of Kill says, okay, so you think companies will suffer long term if they aren't more inclusive in their hiring? I do. I think they will, because here's the thing. Unless they have a lot of people doing a lot of social listening, then yes, I think companies will suffer long term if they're not inclusive in their hiring practices, because the world is not older white American men. That's just not who's buying all the products and using all the services. And, it's a mixture of a lot of different people. Just like if I were, if I had a company and I hired only Black people, well, we would be missing out on a portion of the world, like of other customers. That's what happens when you kind of do something very niche. So even if it were a product that was targeted to, if I had a product that was targeted to white men, you're suffering because you have a whole percentage of people that you could be selling products to, and you're missing out on that. So in like a lot of different instances, you're suffering because you don't even know what might affect a community. You may put out an ad that now you want to bring in Black women, or now you want to bring in Asian women into your audience, right? Well, do you even understand what they actually want? Then you put out an ad that's insensitive. Now you got to work hard to cover yourself and say, no, this is not what we meant. And we've seen that happen plenty of times. So they suffer. Companies should be inclusive in their hiring. It benefits them in the long run. You can't, again, you can't be innovative. Even with having people of different looks, I think people of different backgrounds, educations, all of that, it's not just about on the surface, or, people that have military, like all of this, it can really tie in. Something that's overlooked sometimes, I think, people with disabilities, right? And so there's so many people that are left out, and it affects companies. They're losing out. Automatic assumption is common for career fields. That's true. That is true. Ms. Worrell is saying all changes have to start at the individual and family levels, as it's here where the conditioning starts. True. These things only persist because we allow them to, by not questioning their validity. Ms. Worrell is always coming in here doing this philosophical stuff. She always had some great comments. Such as people at my workplace, I assume I play basketball, which I'm opposite than they think. What's interesting? Yes. For Black men, it's like, oh, did you play, what sport you play, right? Are you a rapper? Are you a celeb? Entertainment. And King of Kill actually sent me something interesting about, it was something in relation to the jobs that Black people have really focused on entertainment. And my issue isn't that we're working in an entertainment space or the sports area. It's about ownership. We should be owning these different industries. If the majority of us are working in them, it doesn't make any sense that we're not owning, right? So yeah, it is unbalanced. Because then you're just looking at a bunch of workhorses, but who's benefiting from all of this work? This is why I can see like Rihanna with her business ventures. I don't blame her for not putting out music. Like, what's getting the money? The business. So I don't blame her. King of Kill says plus 20 points. Right. Why do they value American standards so much? Because the entire world has been taught. At this point, centuries taught. We have been taught, ingrained in our head, right? Since birth, my mother's mother, right? Mother, right? Down the line. We've been taught and conditioned to think that white is right, European is right, American is right. This is what you aspire to. And anything outside of that is wrong. Now, I'm very happy to be in America. Like, this is what I know. American culture, Black American culture. It is what I know. It's, where I'm at. So, of course, I'm going to be proud to be an American. But at the same time, knowing all the wrongs of this country, all the history, all of the bad, all the things we need to work towards, right? Because no place is perfect. But, here in America, it's a lot it's a lot. It's just a lot. But every country has experienced it. Yep, the porcelain colored skin has been the ideal in the Asian community for centuries. Right. I was just surprised by that point system. I've never seen a point system. I was like, whoa, that's a lot. Because American culture is thought to be the exception and has been forced on other cultures. Exactly. You can definitely call me Teddy. I'm just kidding. All right, Teddy. Let me see. Keenan, hey Keenan, what's up? Oh, everybody's popping in here today. But where's their national and cultural pride? That's sad. You know what? I think it's very different. So there was a time where, China, for example, they were sending a lot of their children here to learn, and the plan was for them to come back. But then they stay. They're like, oh, it's nice here. America's nice. Oh, it's nice here. I think we stay over here. And so now they're American and fully, they're embracing it. But now I think there is a slight shift where people are being more proud of where they're from and their culture and empowered to speak about it. You still have some that don't like that. But yeah, I think so. And my whole thing is like, it's all about your angle. Something can look wrong to you because of where you are. It's your perspective. But then to someone else, based on their experience and their perspective and where they are, that can be right. So it's like you get into the philosophical things and the big picture of what's wrong and what's right. Miss Roller saying, look at the makeup of cultures before major wars initiated by the West. Ah, interesting. That is really interesting. Hi, KB. Welcome in, another member. Welcome. I still remember that Dove commercial from a few years ago. The black girl used the soap and then turned white. Yes, I remember if they did that just to cause controversy. You know what? It's interesting. Like, yeah, is it just to get the controversy? But a lot of times I don't think companies want that because they don't want to have that backlash a lot of the times. Now, I think musician and in an entertainment field, I think they do silly stuff all the time just to get some buzz, get some people talking about them. But for companies, no, because they also don't want people banning or saying, they're canceled and people not, because I do know companies know the power of everyday people banding together on social media or wherever to say, we're not going to support this. Money talks. Like when the money stops rolling and people stop buying, that speaks volumes over. I think that's beyond protest. That's like the best way to protest something is to just keep your money and not buy. But yeah, company, we have to be careful. The makeup of their countries, I meant to say, look at what's going on in Jamaica and the continent of Africa right now. Okay. I got it. I was like, I thought you were saying like people are pounding on makeup and stuff to look lighter or something. Okay, so I think I'm gonna close it out. We've been on here. We've had a nice chat. Let me just look to see if there's anything else shocking here. I don't think so. I think everyone pretty much agreed and was kind of stating their piece about it. One woman was saying that at the root of discrimination for many Latinos is colorism, the system of inequality that is based on the lightness or darkness of someone's skin. 73% of Latino professionals say the person's skin tone has an impact on their career progression, while 82% of Latino professionals with darker skin tones say they believe there is colorism in the Hispanic Latino community. If these numbers are going to budge in the right direction, efforts have to go beyond recruitment and towards having different conversations about these issues at work. We want to hear from you. Okay, whatever. So she's like asking questions. Okay, so that's the lady that actually started off this discussion. They did this article where they said they often ignore discrimination many Latinos face at work, and they're going into the skin tone. So that is that. Let me stop sharing. I'm going to link this in the chat just because in case anyone wants to find it later. So this is the article, or this is like the conversation on LinkedIn. The article was within those conversations. So if you're not on LinkedIn, you're not going to see it, but you can find it otherwise. Listen, I'm moving to Africa. Every year I lose more and more faith in this country. That is so sad. But you know what? This is why I want to make the video about, are we really free in this country? Because I'm torn. I'm torn sometimes because yes, I'm a Black woman, but I can see both sides of the equation with what people are fighting for. And I get it. People are constantly in fear of their freedoms, their rights taken away because of history. Right? So there's always this fight for people to make sure that there is a balance and that we have and we can keep our rights, our individual rights. Because change happens slowly, but it also can happen pretty fast. There are small things that lead up to transitions. Look at what happened with Spain and Franco. I mean, it's not just an instant snap and up, totalitarianism. That's not how it works. Oh man, okay. People are having a blast outside. What in the world? I mean, it's nice weather today, but I'm like, what is going on? If you're interested, there's an article about how some Asian countries hire white English teachers instead of their own. Oh, you guys, did I not tell you guys this? Now, I'm not white American, but I'm American, and that holds a lot of value. When you're, all of us being American, it holds value when you're going to other countries, right? And that in itself is like, oh. But hey, I mean, it's like I'm proud to be an American, right? But I was actually, this is going to sound really weird, but I was actually considering becoming an English teacher in China right before the panorama happened and everything got shut down. It was, what was it called? EF first or something, or English first, something like that. But there's a ton of hiring in a lot of Asian countries where they want you to be an American and teach their children English, because that is the official like world language today, at least. I don't know what that'll be in 10 years, 10, 20 years, but English is the, number one language in the country. That's the business language of the world. So they want their children to know that language. I think today, if I were to have children, I would want them to know Chinese and Spanish. That's what I would want them to know. Chinese and Spanish. And if things change, I would have to see. My third choice would be Arabic. So I don't know. Just looking at looking at little, looking at the puzzle pieces, I'm just like, Unless something happens, I do wonder. But yeah, I would definitely do that. So I get it. But yeah, I was definitely timing is everything. I'm so glad I did not do that, because I was watching all kinds of videos of people getting treated badly, Africans getting treated badly in 2020. King of Kill is saying, I'm seriously considering Namibia. Am I pronouncing that right? Namibia? I'll have to do some research on that, King of Kill. Can I move there? I'm like, what's up with Namibia? Is it tropical? Like, is it nice? What's up with that? Panorama. Hey, look, I don't want this thing to be shut down. You know what they shut down one video. It wasn't because of that, but it was because I was talking about millennials and I used a video. So I'm trying to be really careful because they shut it down. Like, you can't even watch that video. It's just gone. It's not that it's not monetized. I don't care as much about that part, but they just shut that thing down. It's like, nope, you're done. You're done. I love YouTube, but like I was hurt by that. I was like, what? I was having a good discussion about that. We were talking about some things in that video. I took that personally. North American culture expects assimilation. Yes. See, Miss Full Roller, y'all, you guys have to check out Miss Full Roller. Miss Full Roller, we need to have some conversations on your channel. For real, you are deep. Assimilation basically means process of conversion. You're converting, you're changing from one thing to another. Ooh, that brings up a lot. Yes, that is a whole nother topic. So with that, everybody, be sure that you hit the like button as you came in here. We had a rough start, but I'm so glad we had a nice little conversation today. Yeah, I'm really surprised at some of the things that folks were saying on LinkedIn. The main thing that probably surprised me was just the Asian woman that said, if you have an olive skin tone, negative 10 points. If you speak perfect American accentless English, plus 20 points. That's really tough to see. Anyway, I can't. Let me wrap up with some of the last comments and then we're gonna close it. I keep saying we're gonna close it. I feel like that preacher in church that's like, oh, we're gonna leave, and then they keep talking for 25 more minutes, and then they're like, we're gonna leave. I'm gonna get y'all out of here, and then they keep talking for another 25 minutes, and you're like, see, I was that person in church. I would just bounce. I'd be like, well, time to go. I would leave early. No shame in my game. No shame. I pick up my little purse. Okay, we're out. I would go to church with my mom. So like, Mom, you ready? All right, let's go. No shame, because look, people don't want to be in church for 2 and 3 hours. Come on now, 2 and 3 hours long. We've been here. Like we have gotten the message. Let's go. let us free. Let us free. Okay. You guys know I'm silly sometimes. Me too. I consider teaching English and African American studies in Asia and South America. That would be fun. That would have been fun. Oh, you've been watching the ads, Kionini. Hey, Kionini. Kionini has they do a lot of mukbangs. If anyone's interested in that, check them out. I just started learning Spanish, but Chinese was difficult. It's the pronunciation for me. The characters would be for me. I'd be like, I can't write this. That is so cool. So, you're speaking Spanish now, KB? We're going to have some conversation in Spanish. My Spanish is terrible. Now, because I haven't been speaking it, I can still read it and understand it for the most part, but speaking it sometimes, I just feel like I'm out of practice, you know? Necesito practicar más español. Hablando español. Want to become famous. Okay, what is this KW cat and dogs 16? I don't want to become famous. No, thank you. I'm good. Famous comes with lots of negative energy as well. So no, thank you. But thanks. Thank you for watching ads, Kionini. Yeah, and share me out. I appreciate that. Yes, you do have to be careful which videos you use on screen. YouTube videos are under a license, so if the creator wants to, they can file a copyright on you for you. Yes, well, MSNBC, they definitely were quick to, was it MSNBC or CNBC? One of those. Whichever one did the story with the SNL snippet about millennials. So anyway. Miss Roller said on the length of church service. Yes, you guys know. Okay, with that, I want to close it out. You guys, this was a good discussion. You guys hung in with me while I was messing around trying to find articles and everything. I appreciate you. But hope you all have a nice Saturday. Again, I saw the poll. Everyone's kind of feeling like they had it this week. Not everyone, but about half and half have felt it this week. I was one too. So that's why I'm kind of like dressed down, because I just needed to meditate, do some yoga, do some little stuff. And just, do a little me time, self-care. So hopefully everyone has some time to self-care this weekend, and I will talk to you later. I'll be on, I think tomorrow I'll be talking for a little bit. So have a lovely Saturday. Bye, guys.